Tyler Davis did not vanish from a mountain road, a desert highway, or a place where no one expected to find cameras or people. He disappeared near a hotel in one of the busiest commercial areas of Columbus, Ohio, after saying he could see where he needed to go. That is what makes the case so unsettling. Tyler was not talking like someone who had no destination. He was telling his wife he was coming back, that he was close, and that he would be there in minutes. Tyler James Davis was 29 years old and from Wilmington, Ohio. In February 2019, he and his wife, Brittany, traveled to Columbus to celebrate her birthday and checked into the Hilton Hotel at Easton Town Center. The plan was ordinary. A short trip, a hotel room, a night out, then home. They met up with a local friend, Sean Hughes, and spent the evening drinking and going to bars and clubs. Close to 3 a.m., the group took an Uber back to the Hilton. Tyler had fallen asleep during the ride, and when he woke up at the hotel, public summaries say he was confused and frustrated, believing they were at the wrong place. That moment changed the shape of the night. Instead of simply going upstairs, Tyler walked away from the hotel area. His friend followed him, and Brittany went inside expecting the confusion to resolve. At first, this may not have felt like a disappearance. People get tired after nights out, misunderstand locations, argue, walk around, cool off, and come back. But around 3:37 a.m., Tyler returned Brittany's call and said he was just going around the block. He told her he would be back soon, which made the situation sound temporary rather than dangerous. The problem is that Tyler did not come back. Minutes stretched longer, calls went unanswered, and the space between the hotel and wherever he was became harder to understand. Then, around 4:10 a.m., Tyler called again. He said he was going through the woods, that he could see the hotel, and that he would be there in 5 minutes. Those words are the heart of the case. If Tyler could see the hotel, then safety sounded close. But if he was going through woods in a commercial district at 4 in the morning, then something about his route had already gone wrong. Brittany later described him as sounding confused. That matters because the question is not only where Tyler went, but whether he truly understood where he was. Immediately after that call, Tyler called back again. When Brittany answered, she heard only a few seconds of silence before the line went dead. That silence changed everything. After that, calls to Tyler's phone went straight to voicemail, and the man who had just said he was minutes away never reached the hotel room. One theory is that Tyler became disoriented and wandered into danger by accident. He had been out late, he was tired, and his calls suggest he may have been trying to navigate while confused. This theory does not require a stranger or a plan. It only requires a wrong turn, poor visibility, exhaustion, and a landscape that looked familiar from a distance but was harder to navigate on foot. The Easton area matters because it is not wilderness, but it is also not simple. Hotels, condominiums, parking lots, service roads, banks, restaurants, wooded strips, and business complexes can create confusing pockets after dark. Surveillance footage reportedly showed Tyler walking diagonally away from the Hilton through the Easton Commons condominiums. That was the last time he was sighted on camera. Phone tracking later indicated he was around the Huntington Bank complex on Stelzer Road, and his phone asked for directions back to the hotel. While he was in the Abbott Foods parking lot, the phone either shut off or the battery died. That detail is important because it suggests Tyler was trying to return. A person asking a phone for directions back to the hotel does not sound like someone with a clear plan to disappear. But once the phone died or shut off, the situation would have changed fast. Without navigation, without a working line to Brittany, and with confusion already present, a short walk could become a dangerous loop. Another theory is that Tyler entered a hidden area and suffered an accident. Commercial districts often have retention ponds, drainage areas, landscaping, service corridors, construction zones, and wooded borders that are easy to ignore in daylight and dangerous at night. This could fit his statement about going through the woods. If he cut across a wooded strip or followed what looked like a shortcut, he may have moved into a place not meant for pedestrians. But this theory also has a weakness. If Tyler suffered an accident near the area, searches and later attention did not produce a confirmed public discovery that solved the case. A third possibility is that Tyler encountered another person. At that hour, a passing driver, stranger, worker, or someone in the area could have crossed his path after the last call. This theory can explain why Tyler never reached the hotel, but it remains speculative. No publicly confirmed suspect, vehicle, or witness has established that someone took him. The frustrating thing about this case is how close everything sounds. The hotel was nearby, phone data placed him in the surrounding area, and he was still communicating with his wife less than an hour after returning by Uber. But closeness can be misleading. A person can be physically near safety and still separated from it by confusion, darkness, terrain, a dead phone, or one bad encounter. There is also the issue of the early response. Public case summaries state police did not immediately treat Tyler's disappearance as urgent because they thought he may have left after an argument, and they later acknowledged that delay as a serious mistake. That delay matters because the first hours of a disappearance are fragile. Footage can be overwritten, witnesses can leave, memories can fade, and a phone signal that might have mattered can disappear into a wider search area. For Brittany, the case is defined by the last calls. She was not wandering for days without contact. She heard Tyler say he was coming back, then heard silence, then watched the calls go to voicemail. That is a very specific kind of pain. The missing person is not abstract. They were just on the line, just speaking, just close enough to imagine walking through the door. Tyler and Brittany also had a young son, who was being watched by Tyler's parents while the couple was in Columbus. That detail makes the voluntary disappearance idea harder for many people to accept. The Charlie Project summary states that authorities do not believe Tyler went missing intentionally. That does not prove what happened, but it does show that public case information leans away from a planned disappearance. Every theory still has a gap. Accident explains the silence but not the lack of discovery. Confusion explains the route but not the final outcome. Foul play explains the disappearance but lacks confirmed proof. The final known pieces form a haunting pattern. Tyler walks away from the hotel, calls to say he is going around the block, calls again to say he can see the hotel, then disappears before reaching it. This is why the case remains so hard to let go of. It does not feel like Tyler was far away from help. It feels like he was moving around the edges of it. Ohio's missing persons database lists Tyler James Davis as missing from Columbus, Ohio, since February 24, 2019. The official listing gives the date and location, but it cannot explain how a man vanished while trying to return to a hotel he said he could see. The responsible way to tell the case is to separate what is known from what is feared. Tyler was in Columbus, returned to the Hilton area, walked away confused, made final calls, and was last tracked near nearby commercial locations before his phone stopped. What happened after that remains unknown. He may have become lost, suffered an accident, encountered another person, or entered a place searchers did not connect to him in time. The last image is not from a remote wilderness. It is a man somewhere near lights, roads, buildings, and the hotel he believed he could see. And that is the question that still hangs over Easton. How did Tyler Davis get close enough to say he would be there in 5 minutes, but never make it back at all?